It has been a huge week of announcements for Pioneer DJ or AlphaTheta, with the announcement of the XDJ-AZ and also the GRV6. And in this video, I'm going to give you my thoughts on both of these products. Let's get into it. Now, full disclosure, I do not work for AlphaTheta. AlphaTheta. I actually don't know how they call themselves, but AlphaTheta is what I'm going with. Yeah, I don't work for them. Pioneer DJ, you get the gist. All the views are my own, of course, and I'm not one of these massive YouTubers. I mean, I am growing, which is brilliant, but I'm not one of these huge YouTubers that get sent demonstration items, so I can't get hands-on with them ahead of making these videos. And I don't obviously have an endless pot of money, so I can't buy every single device that comes out. So all of my thoughts and opinions on these two devices is based on all of the official kind of videos and press releases that AlphaTheta have launched, the YouTube reviews that I have watched, and I've watched a ton of them, and also everything that I've read, because there's loads of articles about them as well. And also, I'm just your average run-of-the-mill working DJ, right? I go out week in, week out, I DJ every week. And so it's just thoughts of a DJ on these two items. But that is what this video is based on. So if you're expecting like a hands-on review, an unboxing or anything like that, this is not the video for you. I don't want to waste your time. First and foremost then, let's talk about the XDJ-AZ. Now, of the two devices that were launched this week, I actually think this is the most exciting of the two. I think this is a device that DJs have been crying out for so long. Of course, many years ago, we got the release of the XDJ-XZ or XZ. This is ultimately going to be the replacement for this device. And I think a lot of people thought that this device would be coming out when the Opus Quad came out, but obviously we got something very different in the Opus Quad. I think this is ultimately the device that people were waiting for and were expecting at the launch of the Opus Quad. In a nutshell, if you don't really know what it is or what it does, without going into all of the features, imagine 4 CDJ-3000s and an A9 mixer. This is basically that in a single box unit and at a fraction of the price. You get 4-deck mixing in a standalone package, which is what so many people have asked for and have been waiting for. This is the first device from this company that allows 4-deck standalone mixing from a single USB. Obviously, you have to layer the 2 decks on either side, but it basically mimics a 4 CDJ setup all in one box. Because so many people have been highly anticipating a device like this and have been waiting for this, and I feel like this update or upgrade is long overdue. I do highly anticipate that the second-hand market, eBay, etc., is going to be absolutely flooded with XDJ-XZ. So if you don't want the latest device, but you want to pick up a bit of a bargain, I think a lot of DJs will be rushing to upgrade, because this product has been a long time coming, in my opinion. In terms of my own thoughts and opinions, I actually think it's a brilliant device. I'm very fortunate, and I don't take it lightly, that I have got CDJs here. And I don't have an A9 mixer, but I've got a 750 Mark II. But if I didn't have my CDJs, this is the device I would buy. I play on CDJs in nightclubs every week, and I want something to feel as close to what I'm using week in, week out at home, to practice on, to experiment with, etc. So in my opinion, this would be the device for me. You can obviously take it out to professional applications because it's got the XLR outputs. It's got a fantastic sound card built in. The sound quality is supposedly matched with the A9 mixer, so there's a real good sound quality coming out of this. Obviously, it's a much bigger device. It's going to be quite heavy to lug around, but I feel like if you want a high-end device for professional applications or something at home that mimics the CDJ setup in a club, this would be the device for you, hands down. In terms of what I don't like about it, I guess this isn't really something that important, but I am very confused as to why this is badged as AlphaTheta. Mojax actually said this on his BeatSource Tech review. When AlphaTheta first came out with the Ominous Duo and some of their other products, they kind of said that AlphaTheta was going to be the brand for more experimental designs and experimental products, and Pioneer DJ would still have a place in the market. They were still going to launch products under that brand. I feel like of all the products that we've seen so far, this would be a product to be branded as Pioneer versus AlphaTheta. So I find that slightly confusing. And I know Mojax has raised that as well. I know that is kind of neither here nor there really, but yeah, I do find that slightly odd. My other call out on this is the performance pads. I don't know why on this device we have the performance pads at the bottom of the jog wheel. With the new GRV6 that we're going to talk about in a minute, and also the the Opus Quad, the performance pads are all at the top, like on the Q points on the CDJ-3000s. I feel like this company really need to just stick with one design. I mean, obviously it's not a big issue in the grand scheme of things. You get used to it very quickly, but I feel like we've got somewhere it's like now moved at the top with the Opus and this new GRV6, and we've got some products that are being launched with them at the bottom like the old style, which I just think is slightly bizarre in my opinion. In terms of the price point, it's a premium price product. Okay, here in the UK it's going to be retailing for £2,800. I think in the US it's launching at $3,200. It is an expensive device. However, I still think that it represents exceptionally good value for money. And the reason being is because the closest alternative you're going to get to this is effectively 4 CDJ-3000s, or at absolute least 2 CDJ-3000s and then the mixer. So it still comes in at a fraction of the price of buying the separate high-end, high-end club standard devices. So I think this is going to be, number one, a very popular device. I think it's a brilliant upgrade from the XZ, the XZ. I know that the technology has been around for ages, so could they have released this a bit earlier? Perhaps, yes. I think that's probably by design because they've had supply chain issues with the CDJ-3000s. You know, it supports Rekordbox, it supports Serato, or Serato is coming very soon, and also it's a standalone device, so you can stick your USBs in. So if you're in a nightclub that hasn't got the budget for a full CDJ setup, then I think this is a great alternative because it comes in at a fraction of the price. But also if you want a home setup that is high-end and that replicates what you're playing out on in the clubs, then this is the device for you. So yes, it's a big thumbs up from me. I think there's a lot of positive reviews out there. And so, yes, I do agree with them. And if you're getting one of these, happy mixing, I think you're going to love it. Moving on then, let's talk about the second release of the week, and that is the DDJ GRV6, or DDJ GRV6. This, in my opinion, is the replacement for the FLX6 previously released. In a nutshell, it's a 4-channel DJ controller. It is a controller, not a standalone unit, so you are going to have to plug it into a laptop in order to use it. And it works with both Rekordbox and Serato, so it has got that dual compatibility, which is brilliant to see. In terms of the design, I'll be really honest, I don't like it. I don't really like this new minimalist design that AlphaTheta are adopting on some of their newer units. It kind of mimics the design of the Ominous Duo that came out earlier this year, and I don't really like the design of that. I just feel like it looks a bit cheap. It looks a bit like a toy. Some people are going to love it, and that's absolutely fine, but for me, it's just not a winner. In terms of the mixer layout, it does copy some of the design elements of the A9. So if you're coming from a CDJ setup, you're probably going to feel very at home on this mixer, which is brilliant. But the big headline new feature, the USP of this device, is the groove circuit, which is the panel on the top of the device. This basically, if you're using Rekordbox, allows you to re-drum tracks on the fly. So you could take a house track, for example, and very much change the look and feel of that track, the energy of the track. You could swap out the drum beats from that and put in, say, breakbeat drums, which is pretty cool in my opinion. It almost copies some of the effects that you get from the RMX 1000, but elevates that. It's almost like the new version of the RMX 1000. So I reckon that unit is probably going to get an upgrade very, very soon. But what's also cool is that you can record your own drum samples. So say, for example, you like the drum beats of one track and you want to overlay that on another track. You can do that. It uses samples to do that. Bear in mind, if you're using this with Serato, you don't get the redrum feature on this groove circuit, but you do get the functionality of using that for stems. And so you can remix tracks on the fly. You do get some stickers in the box to overlay if you are using Serato. In my opinion, this controller is a little bit meh. Like, the groove circuit is cool, don't get me wrong. If you basically want to upgrade your Flex 4 or DDJ 400 to a 4-channel device but haven't quite got the budget for the Flex 10, then this will probably be the device for you because it adds another layer of creativity. But you know, this isn't a high-end professional device. I think the price point is probably a little bit expensive. In the UK, it's just shy of £800. I think it's about 760, something like that. In the US, it's about $800. So if you can wait out and save a bit more money, I personally would get the Flex 10. But if you want something fun to play with at home or house parties or experiment with different tracks and things, then this might be the controller for you. Do I think people are going to be using that groove circuit for every single track that they're mixing? Probably not, because it's not going to work with every track, and ultimately, you know, not every track needs a redrum. But, you know, I do like the concept. I think it's a cool idea, and it just adds another layer of creativity. Does it blow me away? Then no, not really. I think it looks all right, but yeah, nothing to write home about really. Is it a professional controller? I would say no, because the outputs on the back are still quite limited. It is an upgrade on the FLX6, but still quite limited in terms of outputs on the back. Just my thoughts, very quick summary for you there. Obviously, I haven't been hands-on with the devices, as I have said throughout this video. So this is just on face value, very headline summary on both devices. There we have it. Hit the like button if you found this video useful, and if you're still watching, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm really aiming to get to 10K subscribers. The road to 10K is so close, but yet so far. So do hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.